What is up, guys? Like the title says in this video, I want to talk about why you should pay market price. That's right. Did I rage bait a little bit? Perhaps, but hear me out. Look, everybody and their grandmother would like to get Pokemon cards at MSRP, right? Last year, wow, what a wonderful time it was. You could buy cards at MSRP. There was stuff on the shelf at Target, Walmart, Best Buy, hell, Amazon. It was a glorious time, right? And then good old Surging Sparks came out, Prismatic soon after that, and the rest was history. Now you can't find that stuff. But strictly speaking, if you are going to purchase sealed Pokemon items with the intent of investing, you should have no problem paying market price if you believe in that investment. And here's why. I want to preface this first by saying a lot of people die on the MSRP hill, right? Like the entry point is what's important. The entry point is what matters the most, right? And like if you're investing on a budget, then yeah, you want to keep your costs down, of course. But just because something is already higher than MSRP, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's past the point that you should buy it when you consider the popularity or the outlook, the 6 month to a year outlook on that product. If you're not flipping, if you're holding long term, it doesn't really matter. People might see the title of this video and say, F you, scalper, you're part of the problem, man. Well, that's fine, man. I mean, the comment section's a free world, but nevertheless, this is what I want to really. My goal for this video is to kind of dispel this fallacy that like if something isn't MSRP, then you shouldn't buy it, because I think that I see a lot of people caught up in that headspace. And what I have up here is a great example of that. Forge and Fire has this Mega Charizard Ultra Premium collection at about $300. Last night it was $270, so they've marked it up a little bit in the last 12 hours, last 24 hours. But I bought a case last night, and it's not at MSRP. And I think a lot of people, they see that and they're like, oh, I'll hold off for a drop. I'll sit on my computer and maybe I'll hit that Walmart drop. Well, unless you work from home, or you're unemployed, you're fun employed, or you're self-employed, and you can sit on a monitor Discord server or Poke Notify and sit there and like be ready to grab something right when it drops, because that's how it is these days. And you're sitting there, you're in the queue, and maybe after 45 minutes you'll get one box for MSRP. If that's what you want to do, be my guest. But the whales in this hobby that are moving big amounts of product, that are buying big amounts of product, that are making major investments, I'm going to tell you right now, unless they're somebody running a bot account, they're not sitting waiting around for Pokemon Center drops. They're not sitting waiting around for Walmart drops. So there's investment potential outside of MSRP purchases. Now, I don't want to spiel too long here. Let's get into some actual products and numbers, right? This Mega Charizard EX Ultra Premium collection, I think retails like $170. Pokemon Center had a drop. I was able to secure one of those at MSRP after just mocking the people that do that. Yes, I'm also one of them. But this is still a good price, if you ask me. Now, the market is in a dip right now, and I do think that investing heavily in singles is risky, but sealed is going to survive any sort of dip, any sort of reprint. The demand is too high. You might disagree with me, but I strongly feel that any sealed product in Pokemon, even if it goes down in the short term, is going to be a great investment if you look out even a year from now. So this is a good purchase right here, if you ask me. And you might say, Mike, that's $300. That's stupid. Why would I buy that? Well, let's pretend, we look at Mr. Mew 151 Ultra Premium Collection back when this thing was $300, which was about February of this past year, right? You could have easily said, hey, that thing is way above MSRP. I'm not buying that. $300? Are you kidding me? Well, in 9 short months, you've doubled your money. It's $608. In less than a year, you've doubled your money. So if you dispel this fallacy that, I can't buy anything above MSRP, I can't buy anything in market price, you'll make money. It just goes up. And yes, I know this year is not the best example because everything has gone up. But if you look at the outlook, even if you look at stuff that dropped before this boom, it's gone up. Not as quickly, but it's all gone up because it's this law of scarcity. The more of these products that get ripped, the more they get sold, the fewer that are listed, few of them exist, the more people are willing to pay. And Pokemon Sealed has proven this to be true since Pokemon was released in the 90s. It's just common sense. So let's do a little exercise. And you're probably going to roll your eyes at this one, but let's take a good old look at Fusion Strike booster boxes, right? Let's pretend about a year ago in November, we picked up a Fusion Strike booster box for $230. Oh, maybe you said, well, I'm not going to do that. Scarlet and Violet sets are available at MSRP. I'm not going to do that. I can get other Sword and Shield. I can get Silver Tempest or whatever. Whatever the excuse was, $230 was just a ridiculous price for some people. They didn't want to spend above MSRP. Well, look at that. Less than a year later, 11 months later, you tripled your money. You're at $1,000. But what if we bought something at MSRP at that same time? Because MSRP has the best entry point, right, for investing. Investors, the smart ones, buy at MSRP apparently. Well, let's look at a Surging Sparks ETB that was available at MSRP in November, same time, about $52.97, right around MSRP. Well, look at that. It's gone up to $72.65. You've made about 20 bucks. Again, you're probably going to laugh and roll your eyes, but let's run the numbers here, right? Fusion Strike booster box, $235 in November, $1,028 today, 337% return. Surging Sparks ETB, MSRP in November, $72.65 today, 37% return. You see what I'm getting at? So, if you look at this UPC from Charizard, if you look at this Phantasmal Flames UPC, and you say, "Wow, I'm not going to buy that because it's way above MSRP." If this thing's $600 this time next year, who really cares what market price was? Who really cares that it's not MSRP? I mean, we're in this space where because something is more than it used to be, it's no longer a good investment. I'll tell you what, right now, if you have $2,500 to invest, an Evolving Skies booster box, a single box, is a great investment. Yeah, sure, you can buy a Destin Rivals case. You can buy a lot of other things with that $2,500. You can buy a hell of a slab, but Evolving Skies, it's going to follow the trajectory of Team Up. People keep ripping it. People keep chasing that Moonbryon. That thing is going to be worth $6,000 in a couple years. And there's so many people that say, 25, I missed the boat. Well, yeah, but not everybody can afford to throw $2,500 into an investment. That's fair. That's fair. I get it. If that's the case, then sure. But I'll tell you what, if you spend $2,500 in Evolving Skies booster box instead of $2,500 on a bunch of Journey Together ETBs because they're closer to MSRP and it's a better entry point, you're going to make more money on the Evolving Skies box. So I think you guys get the point. I don't need to go rant on this any further. I mean, if you understand this concept, then I'm really preaching to the choir. But I just see so many people talking on Discord and in YouTube comments that they missed the boat on X, Y, and Z. Destin Rivals, this, that, and the other. Guys, it all goes up. Even Destin Rivals. Destin Rivals booster boxes. They're probably going to reprint later this year or early next. They'll probably dip a little bit. But I'll tell you what. In 3 years from now, if you bought a box at $400 or you bought a box at $350, when the thing costs $700, who really cares? Yes, that's optimistic. I know a lot of people think Pokemon's going to crash and all these reprints are going to tank the sealed prices. And if you believe that, that's fine. Even if that happens, sit on the Destin Rivals booster box for 5 years. Sit on it for 10 years. You're going to triple, quadruple, quintuple, whatever the hell it is, your money. It doesn't really matter. If you're investing in this for the long term, who cares what your entry point is? I mean, it matters when it comes to the exact number of your return. but there is so low risk in sealed Pokemon that it genuinely does not matter, and you should be looking at the potential and the outlook of the individual product versus the entry point and how close it is to MSRP. You know what? That's all I got. Maybe a controversial opinion. Maybe I'm going to get flamed in the comments. That's my take for today, guys. Magnum Mike, appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. Call me an idiot. Whatever you want. I'll catch you guys next time.